Hello everyone, Interstellar welcome to Cosmos, our new series on the depths of space and a black hole of knowledge. So let's fly in. Today we're going to talk about the planet Venus. Venus is the second planet from our Sun, orbiting at a distance of 108 million kilometers away from it. It is our closest planetary neighbor and is known as the morning star or evening star, as it's usually seen at twilight at the time of sunrise or sunset. It is named after the Roman goddess of love, Venus, because it's extremely bright in our sky, being the second brightest object at night besides the moon. It is 10 times brighter than Sirius, the brightest star in our sky. Moving to the facts about Venus itself, it is also called Earth's evil twin, due to the fact that it has similar properties to Earth. With the same mass, Venus has mass like 82% of Earth. Composition, Venus has the same central core, silicate material molten mantle, and crust and size, with Venus having a diameter about 600 kilometers less than Earth, and etc. However, although it might seem easy to think that Venus is exactly like Earth, it is like hell, as it has a thick atmosphere of dense clouds of CO2 and traces of sulfuric acid, which in turn causes a greenhouse effect that traps heat and raises the temperature to 465 degrees Celsius, making it hotter than Mercury, which is the closest planet to our Sun. The dense clouds also make Venus's atmospheric pressure 90 times of Earth. To compare, that's more than the pressure 1 kilometer below our oceans. If you could make it to the clouds and to the surface, you would soon find out that Venus's surface is a barren, flaming, rocky wasteland with plains, highlands, lava, and thousands of active volcanoes. Were actually the first to land on Venus with Venera 7 in 1970. However, it only got destroyed within 23 minutes, because the Soviets did not expect the pressure of Venus to be this high. However, it was still impressive, not only because it surveyed and sent images back to Earth about the surface pressure and temperature of Venus, but because this was actually the first spacecraft ever to soft land on another planet. Venera 8 then sent more information in 1972, equipped with a minus 15 degrees Celsius interior, for about 50 minutes, about Venus's clouds and weather before it heated up and got destroyed due to the pressure of the Venusian atmosphere. Venus also surprisingly has weather, although no season. This is because its axis is almost straight, and even if it wasn't, the heat is constant anyway due to the atmosphere. It has some crazy weather with sulfuric acid rain and lightning thunderstorms. What's weird is that the rain evaporates before even touching the ground. This phenomenon is called virga. Believe it or not, Venus has snow on its mountain peaks made of lead and bismuth at high altitude. Venus also has winds that can be as fast as 360 kilometers per hour, swirling opposite to the rotation. Venus has vortices as well on the poles, which rotate almost like solid bodies. They can go as deep as 3,000 kilometers. Also, did you know that there's oxygen in the Venusian atmosphere? This is a different molecular oxygen that we breathe, but it's as interesting as it is formed when solar radiation breaks down CO2 into carbon monoxide and then into oxygen. Some of it goes on the night side and stays there because of the wind. This means Venus has oxygen and it was detected. Something interesting is that Venus spins and rotates in the opposite direction to other planets, and rotates clockwise instead of anti-clockwise. This is why on Venus the sun rises in the west and sets in the east. There is a hypothesis that a large object collided with Venus which reversed its rotation. It is further supported by the fact that Venus spins abnormally slowly, because Venus's day is equal to 243 Earth days. Its year is 224 Earth days, making its day longer than its own year. for this inhospitable planet, you might think that it was always like this, but you'd be so wrong. Scientists think Venus once had ocean and an atmosphere suitable for life until the oceans evaporated and they went through a runaway greenhouse effect. It was most certainly early in the habitable zone. It could have been more habitable too, with warm water, an active surface, and a perfect atmosphere. However, most likely it had carbon dioxide, which slowly accumulated and caused a greenhouse effect, making it inhospitable today. Venus has no self-produced magnetic field, as its magnetic field is induced by solar winds, which interact with its magnetosphere, causing currents to wrap around Venus. This is due to the core being detached. Venus has a very important significance for humans. Galileo Galilei once observed with his telescope Venus's phases, which are caused by Venus's revolution around our star. When it's closest, it's big and dark. When further away, it is small and bright. This is how we know that Venus orbits the Sun, and is sometimes used to support the heliocentric theory. Mercury is the only other planet whose phases are full and similar to the Moon, as other planets' phases are mostly in full or gibbous phase. Another thing is that Venus mission is how we prepared to adapt to different planets and the harshness of space. It was observed for thousands of years, but was never truly discovered until recently. After Venera 7 and 8, Venera 9 and 10 in 1975 sent the first amazing images of Venus in black and white, and Venera 13 sent the first color images of Venus, as well as the first recording of sound from another planet. It recorded the sound of Venusian wind and other sounds. Venera 13 even collected a sample of Venus until it was discovered that the inside lead components melted, which is how we know Venus's temperature is hot enough to melt lead. Later in 1989, the spacecraft Magellan by NASA photographed the entire surface of Venus as well as surveying the inside mass and gravitational field. Other probes like Pioneer Venus 1 1978, which collected evidence for no magnetic field, gamma ray bursts, as well as UV images of the planet. Other missions like Venus Express by ESA in 2005 have also been sent and found evidence for a past ocean. We still plan for future missions like Da Vinci by NASA, which will send data of the lower atmosphere, or the Venus Orbiter mission, unofficially Shukriyan by ISRO, which will collect atmospheric data in 2028. This will help us to understand Venus better, and it will help us to know more about Venus's past and how it became such a hellish planet as it's known as today.